A$AP Rocky has lost it after new footage of Drake and Rihanna resurfaced online. While Rihanna has long downplayed anything from her past with Drake, this resurface moment is now rewriting the narrative in real time. And by the end of this, you'll see how Rocky's reaction might escalate things even more. On May 15th, 2026, Drake did something nobody expected, or maybe something everybody expected. He didn't just drop one album, he dropped 43 songs across Iceman, Maid of Honor, and Habibti. And buried across those 43 tracks were bars aimed at half the industry. Kendrick Lamar, LeBron James, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled. But the names that lit up social media the fastest were A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. On Burning Bridges, Drake delivers lines many listeners interpreted as references to Rocky and Rihanna, reviving a tension that has lingered quietly in the background of rap for years. The chorus hit first, "Your baby mama ain't even post a single damn where she at." That line alone was enough to send the internet into detective mode. Then, later in the same track, Drake added another layer, "You saw my brother, you was trying to fix it. Now you drop your album and you back this sing." The brother is likely Drake's ally DJ Academics, who's featured on Iceman. Rocky did an interview with Academics to promote Don't Be Dumb, which ended up including several Drake disses. But Burning Bridges wasn't even the most direct track. On Fame Friends, pretty much everyone in Drake's orbit catches strays. And that includes Rocky and Rihanna. Drake literally spells out his hatred for his former friend with the acronym-filled lyric, KYS A$AP. That's something that you could do for me. Then, he followed that with a line that tried to poke holes in Rocky and Rihanna's relationship timeline. Tell him why you really hate me. And what year did she date me? And there was still more. Rocky and RIRI catch one more diss in the verses of Ran to Atlanta, where Drake directly references fellow rappers who constantly bring him up and mentions sharing women with them. Now, this wasn't the first time Drake had used his music to revisit the Rihanna chapter, but 3 songs on the same project. That was new, that was deliberate, and it opened the door to everything that's happened since. To understand why those bars hit the way they did, you have to go back to the beginning. Way back, Rihanna and Drake reportedly met in 2005 when she was filming the music video for Pon de Replay in Toronto. The two crossed paths in Drake's hometown before they took over the industry. At that point, neither of them had reached the heights they would later touch. Drake was still finding his footing. Rihanna was a teenager from Barbados on the brink of becoming one of the biggest pop stars of all time. There was no rivalry, no tension, no love triangle, just two people passing through the same orbit before that orbit became massive. Things would heat up around 2009 when Rihanna was an international superstar with a growing catalog. She was also physically and emotionally recovering after the domestic assault by Chris Brown, a public trauma that turned her personal life into a paparazzi circus. Around that time, Page Six reported that Rihanna and Drake had been spotted together at Lucky Strike bowling alley in Manhattan, just a few months after Rihanna broke up with Chris Brown. In the wake of his assault, she and Drake were spotted kissing while on a date to that Manhattan bowling alley. Page Six reported the story, although no photos of the incident surfaced. That night set the stage for a decade of speculation. During an interview with Hot 97, Rihanna said she and Drake were just friends. "We weren't really sure what it was," she said. "We just went out. My friends, his friends," she added. "I don't even have his number." The public was fascinated, but Rihanna treated it like a casual encounter. Drake, on the other hand, didn't. On his Thank Me Later track Fireworks, Drake addressed their brief romance directly. And with that song, a pattern was established. Drake would put his feelings about Rihanna in his lyrics, and the public would dissect every word. Then came the music. In 2010, Drake and Rihanna joined forces for What's My Name, which soared to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. In the video, Rihanna and Drake are seen flirting in a local grocery store, then cozying up in an apartment, reigniting rumors of a romantic relationship. Rihanna performed the Drake-assisted hit at the 2011 Grammy Awards, seductively dancing on the rapper as she sang. The chemistry was obvious. The speculation ran wild. By 2011, Rihanna was prominently featured on Drake's title track on Take Care. In the accompanying video, Rihanna and Drake exhibited more of their intense chemistry. And then in June 2012, Drake and Chris Brown allegedly got into a physical altercation in NYC. Both men seemed to be vying for Rihanna's attention. Brown collaborated on Rihanna's track Birthday Cake, and she collaborated with Drake on Take Care. That June, the tension boiled over when a bar brawl broke out between Brown and Drake's crews. The physical confrontation between Drake and Chris Brown made headlines everywhere, and Rihanna was once again at the center of a public spectacle she never asked for. In the end, Brown won over Rihanna, and the couple reunited from September 2012 to May 2013. Drake didn't move on. He confessed to Rolling Stone that Rihanna was his ultimate fantasy. He poured his emotions into interviews, music, and public gestures that blurred the line between admiration and obsession. In a New York Times profile, Drake went into detail about his feelings. "I was a pawn," he said. "You know what she was doing to me? She was doing exactly what I've done to so many women throughout my life, which is show them quality time, then dissipate." That quote is revealing. Drake saw himself as being played, and that sting would linger for years, resurfacing in bars and subliminals across multiple albums. The cycle continued through the mid-2010s with tantalizing flashes of connection followed by silence. In August 2013, Drake and Rihanna were spotted having dinner in NYC before the VMAs. Despite telling Ellen he'd moved on, Drake told Rolling Stone that Rihanna was his ultimate fantasy. Then came 2016, the year everything peaked and then collapsed permanently. The world couldn't recover from the video Rihanna and Drake unleashed for their collaboration work, and the song stayed atop the Hot 100 for 9 weeks. Rihanna gave Drake his first #1 with What's My Name, and it was her 8th #1 at the time. Years later, she gave him his second #1 with Work, making it her 14th #1 overall. The two were inseparable on stage. Their sultry dancing while performing Work at the 2016 Brit Awards, and Rihanna's anti-tour stop in Toronto kept the rumors alive. Drake popped up in Miami for Rihanna's anti-world tour, and followed her across the pond to London. Reports surfaced. They were definitely dating again. And then came the moment that defined everything, the 2016 MTV Video Music Awards. Drake presented Rihanna with the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award and declared his love. "She's someone I've been in love with since I was 22 years old," he told the crowd. "She's one of my best friends in the world. All my adult life I've looked up to her." It was framed as a tribute, but it read like a claim. He looked as if he attempted to kiss her on stage, but she dodged the moment. The internet celebrated, but Rihanna didn't. Rihanna later said she felt uncomfortable by Drake's speech. She took her time before clarifying where things stood. "We don't have a friendship now, but we're not enemies either," Rihanna told Vogue in 2018. She added, "It is what it is." That was the last time Rihanna publicly addressed a dynamic with Drake in any meaningful way. She closed the chapter. He kept writing new ones. That kind of relationship doesn't end so much as it continues to echo, not because they're caught up in unresolved feelings, but because one person doesn't seem to want to let go. The lingering space between Drake and Rihanna feels somewhere in there. It's been labeled as a man talking to someone who has long since stopped answering. And then, while Drake was still publicly processing, Rihanna found someone who wasn't interested in public declarations. On May 19, 2021, A$AP Rocky revealed during an interview with GQ that he was in a relationship with Rihanna, describing her as the love of my life. By that point, they had already been together for some time. And unlike the Drake chapter, the relationship unfolded with remarkably little drama, at least at first. Rihanna is now settled down with Rocky, whom she has 3 children with, and is rumored to have secretly married. The couple shares 3 children together, sons RZ, aged 3, and Riot, aged 2, and a daughter named Rocky, who is 7 months old. The family formed quickly, and by all accounts, solidly. Rocky spoke about the family publicly, describing watching Rihanna become a mother as something that deepened his understanding of who she already was. His comments focused on her character, her energy, and the way she moves through the world, framing parenthood not as something that changed her, but as something that made an existing quality more visible. But Drake kept reaching into the past. On Fear of Heights from For All the Dogs, Drake repeatedly said the word "anti," the title of Rihanna's most recent album, and asked, "Why they make it sound like I'm still hung up on you?" On another late night, Drake seemed to take aim at Rocky directly. "I ain't pretty Flacco," he rapped, nodding to Rocky's nickname. Much of Drake's animosity towards Rocky seems to stem from a perceived betrayal. The two artists were friends and collaborators in the early 2010s, but fans believe Rocky dissed Drake in his 2026 album Don't Be Dumb. At the time, Rocky confirmed he was no longer close with Drake, alluding to a spat over Rihanna. Don't Be Dumb was released on January 16, 2026. Promoting the album, Rocky sat down with Apple Music's Ebro Darden to discuss a variety of topics. While his music was getting critical acclaim, Rocky's personal life was also being scrutinized thanks to the new song Stovepipe Flow, which Rocky himself seemingly confirmed features bars targeting Drake. On the track, he raps, "Stole my flow, so I stole your BAE. If you stole my style, I need at least like 10%. There was nothing subtle about it, and when asked about it directly, Rocky didn't hide. He explained it in simple terms. "This thing between us, it's not real smoke, but I just don't with him. We was once friends. I feel like it's over females. I feel like he wasn't happy and he expressed that." Rocky also labeled Drake as soft for sending repeated shots at Rihanna in recent years and thinks it's time for Drake to get over whatever happened in the past. "I think at some certain point and everyone getting older and you supposed to be moving on. For you to be picking at a female, that's soft to me. I didn't put out music for me to say something back. And I finally did say something back to a few people. I do think that is petty. It's enough money, fame, women, spotlights to go around. We're not really tripping off nothing. Is it real smoke? It could never be. That ain't real smoke." That was January. By May, Drake had apparently decided to respond at scale. Drake turned Iceman into one of the most talked about hip-hop releases of 2026. Beyond the streaming numbers, viral rollout, and surprise triple album drop, the project is dominating headlines for its aggressive lyrical shots aimed at multiple celebrities including A$AP Rocky, Rihanna, Rick Ross, and LeBron James. Critics and fans alike are now dissecting every lyric online, as Drake appears determined to reassert dominance. On Burning Bridges, he took aim at the couple as a unit. At one point, Drake raps that he'd be more brutal with his adversary, "But I still got love for your missus." Then he turned around and questioned the strength of their bond. The remark about Rihanna not posting Rocky's singles seemed to be a dig, although the singer actually has publicly praised Don't Be Dumb on social media and attended its release events. On Firm Friends, he went further, spelling out Kai's A$AP and demanding answers about timelines. On Ran to Atlanta, he painted Rocky as someone living in his shadow, referencing sharing women that I already at the height of my success. This continues a familiar cycle in which Drake's personal grievances become public through music first. The broader tone of It's All About Me leans heavily into confrontation with multiple songs containing pointed remarks aimed at artists who have crossed paths with Drake in recent years. Meanwhile, A$AP Rocky and Rihanna were dealing with their own headlines. Just 10 days before, Drake dropped It's All About Me. The couple attended the 2026 Met Gala, drew the attention they usually do, and then found themselves the subject of a rumor cycle that moved faster than the facts. It started with a video footage from inside a Sprinter van taken after the gala on May 5th began circulating online and was quickly read as evidence of a blow-up. Between the two, one clip posted to X on Tuesday, May 5th showed the rapper speaking with two women while Rihanna was being interviewed just a few steps away. During the exchange, Rihanna was seen briefly turning toward Rocky with a serious expression, which many interpreted as irritation. A second clip from inside their vehicle only intensified speculation. Rihanna and Rocky were caught on video in the throes of what looked like an emotional conversation inside a Sprinter bus outside the event. More footage surfaced that captured Rihanna looking unhappy, sparking rumors online of tensions between the couple. The timing was almost too convenient. Drake's bars were already circulating in preview form. Charlemagne Tha God had already teased what was coming. And now there was footage that appeared to show cracks in the very relationship Drake was attacking. But the couple and their camp shut it down. The couple is very much in love. Their rep added to TMZ that the Sprinter van footage doesn't show tension. Just two people drained from a marathon 16-hour day. It was a long day and they were running on empty. Despite the online chatter, sources maintain that the situation had been misinterpreted. What appeared to be tension was nothing more than ordinary Met Gala interactions with no underlying relationship drama. Rihanna herself posted a 45-second montage clip to X showing the famous couple smiling, holding hands, and partying the night away at Monday's gala in NYC. No formal statement, no press release, just footage of two people having a good time. And it worked. The narrative shifted almost overnight. Days later, Rocky and Rihanna celebrated Mother's Day with a night out in NYC. Spotted going into the Italian restaurant Cucina Alba, the message was clear. They were fine. So where does all of this leave things? Drake and Rihanna's names haven't been linked romantically in years. Rihanna is raising 3 children with A$AP Rocky. She hasn't released an album since Auntie. She moves on her own time with her own map. Yet every few years Drake adjusts the rearview mirror, often through a lyric, and sometimes through a pointed omission. Rocky, for his part, has laid his position out plainly. He doesn't view it as real beef. He sees it as a man who hasn't moved on from a woman who clearly has. For you to be picking at a female, that's soft to me. Although Drake and Rihanna haven't been a romantic item for a decade, his several public declarations of love for his ex have continued a love triangle narrative. And with Iceman, Drake has once again ensured that the conversation continues, whether anyone else wants it to or not. The response to Iceman reveals how deeply invested audiences remain in rap's larger cultural narratives. While the constant revisiting of old feuds risks overshadowing the music itself, Drake leans fully into the chaos and spectacle that have always fueled his career. Whether viewed as strategic controversy or emotional retaliation, one thing is undeniable. Drake once again controls the center of the global hip-hop conversation. But here's the thing that doesn't get said enough. The leaked footage of Drake and Rihanna together that keeps surfacing on social media. It's not new. It's not from 2026. It's recycled clips from 2016. The work performances, the Brit Awards, the anti-tour. It's fan pages remixing old content to capitalize on the current wave of drama. And the internet, in its rush to keep the narrative alive, treats it like breaking news. There's no new footage of Drake and Rihanna together. There hasn't been for nearly a decade. What there is a rapper who keeps writing about a woman who has moved on, a partner who finds the whole thing beneath him, and a public that can't stop watching. The triangle exists only in lyrics and headlines. On the ground, it's a straight line. Rihanna chose Rocky, built a family, and kept walking forward. Drake released 43 songs. 3 of them were about her, and the world stopped to listen. That tells you everything about who still holds the power in this story.